Irfan, you have recently moved from the third line of defense to the second line of defense. So first of all, our best wishes for your new role.
Thank you.
As per the PwC's financial crime survey, for which Faraz shares few of the results, one of the questions was about the financial crime risk assessments. And the feedback we received from most of the respondents was that these risk assessments are a bit static, generally not backed by data, and not optimally linked with business strategies and outcomes. What is your institutional experience and how can we make these risk assessments dynamic, data-driven, and linked with business decisions? And also, since you have just moved from third line of defense, what is the role of third line of defense to add value in this process of improving upon the financial crime risk assessments?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. First of all, congratulations to Faraz Anwar and Ibrahim Amin for getting all of us under this roof. It has been an amazing, engaging, and insightful session since morning, and I've thoroughly enjoyed. I've been here for last two, but this was for me the best and the most engaging so far. So, thank you very much for, I'm the newest into this territory where I've got all the seniors sitting next to me, and it's a great privilege to join the fraternity on that front. Coming back to your question, what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge both these questions into one because I'll just talk you through very quickly. I know we are up against time, so I'm going to keep it short. When I started my journey as head of internal audit at UBL, the first thing I did was, and it was such a pleasure hearing this question about risk assessment. This is exactly what we started with. And this was days back in 2018, which is when most of the action was happening. It was pretty much chaotic. 2017 and 18 to speak of. There was a lot of happening, and there was quick action required, but more in terms of a strategic outlook. So the first thing we did was, and this is where the internal audit role comes into play as well, we started off with the risk assessments. And what we did was, and it was a lot of effort. Some of my colleagues are already here, sitting in here. They could relate to the experiences we went through, but this was historical for an internal audit function to come up with a risk assessment, and we did that with a lot of data. What we did was we came up with this bottom-up risk assessment approach. We're using your channels, your products, your services, all the way at the branch level. We went all the way up to see in terms of what risks are we getting through at the transaction level, and what actually do they mean for us. We did all that exercise. I still remember in 2018, one of the top American banks, they visited all of the banks for correspondent banking due diligence. And it's a pleasure saying that in just 20 minutes, when I was having that conversation with them, in just 20 minutes, I just showed them the risk assessment. And in 20 minutes, they said, this is the best we have seen, because this is what we want to see. And this is the approach that should be taken to tackle financial crime compliance. And that was the most heartening and the right foundation to start with. So coming back to your question of, in terms of having dynamic financial risk assessment is very important. Without data, you cannot do a risk assessment. It would be stale, and not just at one point in time. You need real monitoring of the data to actually see in terms of what's going through across products and channels. Faraz rightly mentioned in terms of some of the risk, like varying typologies as well as cash intensity. And these are the two things that were, and they are still, they are like elephant in the room. They're still like elephant in the room. And we worked through reams and reams of data to see in terms of what actually that data means to us. We developed our own typologies. We connected well with compliance, second line. We came up with a combined assurance program. And that was quite new in terms of the way we approached it in the industry, but that paid dividends, because over the time of 3 years, from first, second, third, we made a lot of progress in terms of not just inculcating the culture across the bank on financial crime compliance, but actually understanding there's a lot of focus being on what good looks like, but actually what matters is how good looks like. And this is what we invested over the first 3 years, from 2018 to 2021, and that was amazing. Now, if you were to look at UBL now in terms of the business decisions we take, everything is linked up to the enterprise financial risk management system. We don't take any risk which are outside the risk appetite. Everything is driven. Any changes in products, anything that changes across the network is visible, and the decisions are properly made based on that. And you can't take business decisions. And you rely a lot on the regulator as well to provide you with the right guidance to make you understand in terms of what's coming up next as emerging risks, and along with your own data enrichment from the bottom to the up, you combine the two, and then you come up with your own insights to decide in terms of how you want to shape your business decisions and where exactly you want to take it forward. And internal audit plays an amazing role, coming back to the second element, because without having an effective partner doing an independent assurance, it's very much difficult to enforce the culture of financial crime compliance within the organization. So that's what we did, and we have been saying all along, follow the money, but it's actually follow KYC. KYC is the main crux in the whole thing.
Thank you so much, Irfan, for a very detailed response and insightful response.
Thank you.